What is this World War II era box kite stored in a yellow metal tub? It was given to me by my grandfather when I was a child, who mentioned that it was used by one of the British forces during the war, though I'm not sure which one. The instructions on the casing depict a person sitting in what looks like a dinghy and using it. There's a welded ring pull on the inside of the lid that appears to be for attaching it to the kite. What was it used for, and in which services might it have been used? This is an RAF box kite, affectionately known as a Gibson girl, due to the hourglass shape of its radio transmitter. It was part of the kit issued to airmen in case they were shot down, allowing them to send a distress signal and request rescue. The kite would be used to elevate the aerial for the radio signal. If you examine the yellow canvas sail, you can determine whether it is British or American issue by checking the spelling of center. What is this stand found on a farm in Missouri, USA? It looks like a cup holder, but there are hooks around its base. It was placed outside on the patio near a barbecue grill. Is it related to horses? Since the barn we are in has a lot of horses. This is a drink holder, a piece of folk art commonly found in Missouri. It likely originated from an old tool stand, as suggested by the metal rings on the main post, which seems suitable for supporting a fire poker in an upright position. Such items are typical of rural Missouri craftsmanship and are often created as unique, one-off pieces. While it's not specifically related to horses, its rustic and practical design is characteristic of the area. What is this instrument? My grandmother has it, and we're not sure what it's called. The mouthpiece is the small rod at the end that curves upwards. It is reedless. All you have to do is blow, and it will make it sound. The valves actuate, but I'm not getting a change in pitch on more than half of them. I suspect the internal mechanism might be stuck, or if there's a diaphragm, it might be broken. There are no visible marks on it. After posting it on Facebook, someone offered $22,000 to buy it, but I'd rather keep it in the family as we don't have many family heirlooms left. The instrument you have is a harmonicore. It was invented around 1861 by Louis-Julien Jolin in Paris and was intended as a substitute for the oboe or English horn. The harmonicore features 25 piston-like keys and covers a range of 2 chromatic octaves, with its keys arranged similarly to a piano keyboard. Given its rarity and historical significance, it's advisable not to attempt any restoration yourself. These instruments are extremely rare, with less than 20 years of production and very few surviving examples. They can command a very high price, and notable institutions such as the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and the Royal Museums of Art and History in Brussels each have one in their collections. What is this ceramic tube? Found in a drawer of random antique bits, these tubes appear to have been white originally, but are now discolored with age. The holes go all the way through. They have a small stamp on the thicker end. They are not heavy and seem to be purely ceramic, with no metal or other substances inside. There are 5 of these tubes found together. The discoloration appears to be from age and storage, not from paint or glaze. They are rough and not shiny or polished. These porcelain insulating tubes are part of an old electrical wiring system known as knob and tube wiring. This system was widely used from around 1880 to the 1930s. The tubes were inserted into holes bored in wall studs or floor joists to protect electrical wires. This prevented the wires from coming into contact with wooden structures and being compressed as the house settled. The tubes also provided protection when wires crossed each other, in case an upper wire broke and fell on a lower one. What is this hinged wooden box with a sliding lid? It's about 1 foot long and has no markings. I think it belonged to one of my grandparents and was found in a box of random old items. There is something like a keyhole on the side. This old school pencil case is a classic woodworking project that was commonly made by secondary school students in the 1960s and 1970s. Its simple yet effective design made it a popular choice for craft classes, helping students develop essential woodworking skills. I discovered this in my grandfather's basement. It is attached to a base that measures approximately 26 by 16 by 3 inches, and it weighs somewhere between 35 and 45 kilograms. I'm guessing it might be a component from an old sewing machine, but does anyone have other suggestions about what it could be? The item you found is a horizontal steam engine. This particular model appears to be more of a toy or prototype. Real steam engines, which were used extensively during the 18th and 19th centuries, feature a boxy valve body mounted on the side of the short piston. It lacks a place for a spark plug, and it includes slides that handle the load from the connecting rod to prevent side forces on the piston and cylinder. These are typical characteristics of steam engines. Similar models were commonly used in factories before the widespread adoption of electrical power. I picked up these fixed binoculars from a garage sale. Does anyone know what they might have been used for? These are opera glasses. They were commonly rented at theaters, but wealthy individuals would often own their own more elaborate pairs. Many of these personal opera glasses featured an attached handle, which allowed them to be held up to the eyes without having to keep the hand at head level for long periods. While similar designs are still available today, most modern versions are now made almost entirely of plastic. What is this object? I discovered it at a garage sale over 15 years ago. It's a glass flask filled with a brown liquid, but I have no idea what it could be. It's been a family mystery for quite some time. My mother recently rediscovered it while moving across the country. I used to want to break it open as a kid, but now I'm a bit afraid of what the brown goop might be. The flask is made of glass with plastic end caps. I hope someone has seen something like this before. It's just a decoration for the interior. Back in the 1990s, it was popular to have small gadgets and knickknacks on shelves, coffee tables, or desks. These included items like oil and water reactions, sand pouring, and bubble tubes. This particular item is a type of bubble tube. When turned upside down, the liquid inside is viscous enough to allow slow bubbles to rise every 5 to 10 seconds. This effect lasts for 3 to 4 minutes, and then you simply flip it back over to watch the bubbles rise again. What is this thing? It's about 9 inches long, takes 2 C-size batteries, and vibrates when you flick the switch. The metal is magnetic, so it's not aluminum, but because of the lack of wiring, the metal has to be conductive enough to carry the current of the battery. It was in my grandma's belongings. It also says Japan on the top and bottom. What you found is part of a back-a-scratcher massager. This device was developed in the 1960s and was quite popular at the time. It was designed to allow a person to scratch their back by themselves. The metal construction and the Japan marking indicate that it was manufactured in Japan, which was common for such products during that era. I found this metal structure in the Italian Alps near Marmolata. It was about 3 meters tall, and we saw a few of these on the side of the mountain. Any idea what these are and their purpose? It's a mounting system for an avalanche control device called Obelix. I've discussed these devices in detail in a previous video. These pods contain hydrogen and oxygen tanks used to generate explosions. The working principle involves creating small explosions to prevent avalanches. Each pod costs about $120,000, but the investment pays off in terms of safety and efficiency. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please support my channel by liking and subscribing. It really motivates me to make more videos. See you in the next ones.